Welcome to the first part of our finale for our series, The Roman Empire and the Holy Land. In this video we're going to be focusing on the Roman Empire. If you've just come across this video, then please remember that this playlist, this body of work, is supposed to go with this video. So it all, ties into it. But if you have come across this video for the come across this channel for the first time watching this video, I will try to do the video in a way where you can watch it and it can make sense, and then you can decide whether you want to go, watch the full playlist. I'd like to do a disclaimer first. We're going to be using two videos from YouTube. So this one, the history of Rome every year from Balkan history, and also this video, the history of the Romans every year by, I think it's Emperor Tigerstar. So thank you to these content creators for making these videos so we can watch and we can learn from. And just a disclaimer that these videos are in the public domain and we just want to make fair use of them for educational purposes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus in on this Roman Empire. Let's get started. Okay, you can read that if you want to. Pause it and then read it. Let's go jump to the next milestone in this Roman Empire. Okay, so it says here that Rome is established 753 BC. Now, this is a mythological founding. So I don't know if we can trust this date, the fact that it's based on myths, but that's the date we're given for the founding of Rome. And we did speak about that with the, was there like a foreign influence on this founding of Rome with the Trojans? Okay, let's go to the next major moment. Okay, so now we've got to 509 BC, and it's saying that the Roman Republic was established. So let's speak about this. If we go to a map of Italy, we can see we've got the Etruscan civilization to the north, and then we've got the Romans, and this is known as the land of Latium, and the capital Rome. So it's saying that Rome started as a settlement, but it did develop into a very powerful city-state. But the Etruscans were ruling over this region. There was kings ruling over Rome, and that's what they're saying at this point. The Romans threw off that rule, and the last. They say this could have been the last of these kings, of these of the Etruscans. I don't know if I'm going to try to say this name, but I'll try. Lucius Tarquinius Superbus. So this history is a little bit legendary. So take it as you will, but this would be the Romans throwing off the Etruscan rule. And remember how we've been speaking about this foreign influence on the founding of Rome. Could it have been the Trojans? But I also want to show you the connection with this word to the Hittites, because we also spoke about that. This word Tarkin, scholars are connecting this with the Hittites, with the word Tarkin or Tarku. So it's this Hittite influence. So that's what we were saying about this foreign influence or foreign founding. The Etruscans, quite mysterious people, been connected to the Hittites, to the Trojans, and the Thracians. But now the Romans are throwing off this rule. That's where we are with this date, and then no longer ruled by a king. Now they found Rome as a republic. Okay, let's jump to the next important moment. So what we're going to do is actually look at a few moments when Rome was in great danger in its early history. So let's go to the first one. It's going to be the sack of Rome by Brennus, leader of the Senones. So we have this Celtic leader, or this leader of the Gauls, and it says that he sacked Rome, but it obviously wasn't complete devastation, because Rome did recover. It had come back stronger, but it says here this was the only time in 800 years the city was occupied by a non-Roman army before the fall of the city to the Visigoths in 410 AD. Now, we only have the sources from the Roman accounts. So can we trust just having, Rome's take on this history? Is it a fair assessment? There are some other accounts by the historian Geoffrey of Monmouth, but that's not really, accepted in historical circles. But there is actually another account of this with the British historian Geoffrey of Monmouth, which is interesting, but I don't want to go off course in this video. So this was obviously a very dangerous moment for Rome. Let's have a look at the map. So this would have been Celts or Gauls coming in from the north and sacking Rome, but obviously not complete. So this is the first dangerous moment we're going to look at, and we can see that it's coming from the north. That's the theme we're going to be speaking about, the danger for Rome from the north. Okay, let's fast forward in the video to go to the next dangerous moment. And if we just go back to this map just to speak about this quickly. So, in order for Rome to take control of this peninsula, they're going to have to absorb and conquer these surrounding tribes. And the first thing they're going to have to do is conquer this region was known as Latium, so the land of the Latins. That would be the first, part of their conquests. Okay, so it's this part here I want to speak about, the First Punic War. This is going to be the wars between Rome and Carthage. And it's called Punic because Carthage was described as a Punic civilization, and that's connected to the word, well, it could be connected to the word Phoenician, and this connection with the word red, or the color purple. But we're not going to speak about that because that could also take us off course. Okay, so this is the next dangerous moment we're going to look at, and it's going to be involving the famous general Hannibal. But let's first just get an idea of the map and the picture here. So we've got the Empire of Carthage, Carthage being a kingdom in the country of Tunisia, and you can see the Roman Republic, and we've also got Syracuse. This is a Greek city-state. So just so we can see the players here, we've got Rome, Carthage, and the Greeks. But we can see at this stage of the history, this Carthaginian Empire, we see it's got control of the Straits of Gibraltar. So maybe we could say that, Carthage, is the master of the Western Mediterranean. But now Rome's growing, and if Rome has any ambitions of becoming a superpower, we can see the potential for conflict between these two great powers. And we even looked at the myths and the mythology. We spoke about that the founding for Rome myth with Aeneas, the Trojan, coming to Carthage, and we have this whole story that there could be a curse between these two powers, that there may have been a curse uttered by the Queen Dido. So maybe conflict was inevitable based on that mythology. And at this point, we can see that the Greek power in this region is now, on the wane. So before Rome rises, it would have been the Greeks and Carthage fighting for dominance in this region. But now Rome is rising. How can there not be conflict between these two? And that's what we're going to speak about now, because we have the very famous general Hannibal, and he launches a very ambitious invasion coming through the Iberian Peninsula, through France, and coming through the north. So this is what we want to try reveal and speak about in this video, that Rome seems to be very vulnerable from attack from the north, because if they can develop a very powerful navy, it's going to be very difficult to conquer Rome by sea. And historically, we can see that the danger for Rome was from the north. So how would they respond to that? We're going to have a look and see, did they respond to this danger from the north? So this would have been a dangerous moment. Hannibal didn't actually sack Rome. He just caused havoc throughout this region for a number of years. But Rome wasn't sacked, but still a very dangerous moment. So that's what we're going to be moving through now, is that history with the wars between Carthage and Rome. So I just want to show you now, if we look at this, how Rome seems to be now moving towards the north. Are we going to see now this attempt to try block this route that Hannibal took? That's what we want to look at now. Now this territory that's added here, this could be their Roman attempt to try block off Hannibal, but it failed. And we see this territory's disappeared here. This could be Hannibal causing havoc in this region. But ultimately, Rome was successful in destroyed Carthage. So we can see now, is this going to be the attempt by Rome to respond to what's happened after Hannibal, trying to secure the Straits of Gibraltar? And now we're going to see, are they going to try secure this route that Hannibal took and try secure this weakness from the north? So let's have a look. So we can see them moving towards the north, and it looks now like they're going to try secure this route. We're not going to look at the other history that's happening just yet. Just wanted to focus on this part. So now we can see that they have, looks like they've been successful. And is this going to be one of their priorities to try secure this weakness? But I'm a bit confused why they've left this part here. So not quite sure why they've not completely secured that route and left that part. So that's a little bit strange. But we can see now that, and remember, this is just my perspective. So remember, it is a layperson perspective, but we've seen that weakness twice from the north. So to me, it looks like Rome is trying to push that frontier further to the north, and even push their frontier as far as the Straits of Gibraltar, because they must still be concerned and worried about an invasion from Africa. Because remember, Hannibal came from Africa. So are they still concerned about Africa, trying to control the Straits of Gibraltar, and then push the push that frontier further to the north so that Rome feels more secure? And we'll just see it on the other video as well, how they've done it. So we can see also coming to the north and trying to, let's say, secure that route that Hannibal took. So we'll just fast forward on this one as well. This one's interesting on this page or channel, how they've left other parts here unconquered. A little bit different from this other channel. Notice we've only got this small part, where on this channel there's a few other parts or territory that Rome hasn't added or conquered. So I find that a little bit strange, why they haven't conquered all this territory here. Okay, the next thing I want to speak about is going to be one of the themes that we brought out from our series, was that is the history that's happening in the East, was it really happening in the West? And that's why you kind of need to have been following the series, so this part makes sense. But I did notice something here when I was watching this video. If we just go back, notice how territory here in the East is added at the same time here in the West. Territory is added here in the West, if you notice that. So I just thought that was interesting, that at the same time we have territory added here and also in the West. And that's kind of something that we would be looking for. Could there be symmetry going on here with this territory and this work on these videos? So that could be important, and we'll just see it on the other video as well. See how they've done it. So notice again how there's like a symmetry. There's at the same time territory is added here, there's territory added here in the West. So that could be important for our work if we think about those things we've been speaking about. So what I'd like to do now is, I did add some videos during the week, but I'd like to put them into this video so that the video can kind of stand alone, so people can kind of make sense of what we're saying just watching this video, even though it is supposed to go with the full playlist. But so what we're going to do is, now we're looking at the modern day country of Turkey, but we've been given terms like Asia Minor and Anatolia, and we've been looking at some of these kingdoms. And in this sphere, or the shape, I've got Paphlagonia, Galatia, Cappadocia, and Cilicia. Couldn't quite fit Phrygia in nicely. But I want to play you a video where we look at these four kingdoms, and we're trying to provide information and sources that could be showing that these kingdoms were really supposed to be in the West. And what I'd like to do is play that video for you so you can look at the information and let's say like the case we're bringing forward for this, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it and take it further. So let's just watch those videos first. Okay, thank you for watching those videos. So I wanted to put all those videos into this one because you're going to see that what we're putting forward here is very important, and I wanted some information in this video to support what we're about to say. Notice also that in that history was speaking about Alexander the Great with Phrygia, but we didn't actually have a video on Phrygia there because Phrygia was a bit more complicated. It wasn't so straightforward. So I couldn't make a short video for Phrygia, but we do have information on the channel also speaking about Phrygia. Let me just show you where to go if you want to see that, maybe after you've watched this video. So it'll be part 19 and part 20, going into 20. So Phrygia was a bit more complicated, so I couldn't do a short video for that one, but we do speak about Phrygia as well. So let's actually look at Alexander the Great as I try to explain how I want to end this playlist or the series. We're going to look at the map of Alexander, and this is showing his route or his conquests. So Alexander coming into Asia Minor the way we've been told, and he comes to Phrygia. Let me quickly show on the map. So he comes to this region of Phrygia. Now this obviously is what we've been presented with. I'm going through what we've been told and presented with the maps. But he then comes down to Cilicia, so into this region here. But what I want to speak about is that in order to come into the land of Phoenicia or Syria, he's coming through Asia Minor. He comes from the north. So in order to conquer Phoenicia, he comes through Asia Minor and he comes from the north. Now, would not the Romans have to follow the same route? That's what we want to try to establish here in this video. So if we go back to these videos, and I want to show you now how Rome also has to follow the same route and also comes from the north. Let's go through this together. So now we're following the history that's happening here in the country we know as Turkey today. Okay, so we see here that Egypt becomes a part of the empire here in 79 BC. But they're not going to take Phoenicia or Syria from the south. It's going to be from the north. But they've already got control of Egypt. Okay, notice how we have this territory being added here. And it's this territory that's bringing them into Syria or towards Phoenicia. Notice the territory being added. And then they conquer Jerusalem. So we're also speaking about the Holy Land because the playlist is about the Roman Empire and the Holy Land. But you see that it's from the north that it's happening. Let's go to the other channel to see how they've done it. Might be able to see it a bit better on this one. And this is going to be important for the where we're going to end the series. Okay, so we've watched this one. And I'm doing it year by year so we can see it more clearly. So we're going to see Egypt become a part of the empire. Okay, so we see Egypt becomes part of the empire first, but they don't come from the south to conquer this region. It's going to be from the north. Just want to establish that. So we see this we see this territory, not temperature. So we see the territory being added, and now it's going to be, we're going to see this coming from the north. See, so they conquer Syria or Phoenicia or coming towards the Holy Land from the north. So this is the important part that I want to just explain, that you see how we've got these kingdoms circled: Paphlagonia, Galatia, Cappadocia, and Cilicia, and we've also spoken about Phrygia. How, if you've watched those videos, we're putting a case forward. Are these kingdoms really supposed to be in the west, so towards the Iberian Peninsula? But if these kingdoms were really supposed to be in the west, then what we've done is we've actually blocked the path for the Roman Empire. How can the Roman Empire get to Syria and the Holy Land? If these kingdoms aren't supposed to be here. So it's actually very important, the work that we're doing and the case we're putting forward, and everyone needs to look at it and see what they make of it. But if the case is getting stronger And remember, it also goes with the body of work, so the whole playlist, not just on its own. So what we've done potentially here is we've blocked the course for the Roman Empire. That, if these kingdoms aren't supposed to be here, how can Rome continue to come here and conquer from the north? Because all these kingdoms are connected and are a part of that history. We saw even with Alexander how Phrygia is connected with Cilicia, and Cilicia is connected with Syria. So it's very important to know, where is this history really happening? So that's the way I would like to finish the playlist, is to show that if we kind of go back to the beginning of it, with the question starting off, if we don't have evidence or sources for the Roman Empire penetrating deep into Africa, then how can the Holy Land be in Africa? But with the research and the studying, if we've cast a doubt, or if we have shown that there's a problem with this Roman Empire, with what we've been presented with, then maybe we don't fully understand the Roman Empire, and maybe they did penetrate deep into Africa, but we just don't understand it yet, because the picture is still a bit murky, and we're still waiting for more information to come out. So that's what I would like to say is, have we created, or I don't want to say created, but have we shown that there could be a problem with what we've been presented with, or cast a doubt? And what we've tried to do is present a picture, an alternate picture. So we're not just working here with these kingdoms on, let's say, Asia Minor or Anatolia. We're working with the three sons of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and trying to create a picture so that there's an alternative, so you can see what the alternative could be. So that's why I said you kind of need to look at the whole playlist, to give it a fair chance to see the picture. Does it hold up? Does it make sense? And then you can see we have put a lot of work into it, and also there are other channels that are a part of this that are researching, and so it's not just this one. But that's what I would like to do to end this playlist, to show that, well, to put this case forward, how strong is our picture with the work we're doing, and it's still ongoing, but to show that we could have created a major problem here for this Roman Empire. How can it get to where it needs to go? But I would like to just finish off the video to bring it to conclusion with what we were speaking about with the history of Rome, with this weakness from the north. We saw that the first dangerous moment with Brennus, that Celtic leader, or leader of the Gauls, coming from the north. And then we saw Hannibal, the famous Carthaginian general, also coming from the north. And even though we did look at the Roman Empire to see, did they try respond to this, to block this weakness, ultimately it still was their downfall. Because if we go to the final part for Rome, we see Rome was sacked in 410 AD by the Visigoths, led by King Alaric. And if we go to a map, we also see that the Goths also came from the north. So this did prove to be the downfall ultimately for Rome. It wasn't conquest by the sea, it was from the north. But so that was 410 when Rome was sacked, but the Western Empire didn't officially end apparently till 476. So this is actually what they say is maybe the actual real ending date for the Western Roman Empire. And it says here that Romulus, the last of the Roman emperors in the West, was overthrown by the Germanic leader. I don't know how you say this. I'm not even going to try to say it. Some words I'm not. Yeah, I think I might embarrass myself if I try to say that one. But a German leader, and I thought this was interesting that Romulus was the last emperor, because it made me think about how we started the video with the founding of Rome, with that mythological founding with the Trojans, because according to the myths, Rome was founded by Romulus and Remus, so Romulus. So just thought, could it be ironic that if we think about the founder and then how it ends. Rome starting with a Romulus and ending with a Romulus. So that was a little bit ironic. And then we see that that there was the Trojan founding or the Trojan influence on this story. So that's going to be how we going to finish the video. So ultimately, the that danger for Rome, the weakness, it was from the north. So we wanted to just bring that to conclusion for the video. So that's the first part for this finale. In part 2, we're going to be looking at the statue from Nebuchadnezzar's dream from the books of Daniel, and we're going to finish the finale looking at the prophecies and the visions. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you in that next one.